How do you plan to address the discrepancies between the current zoning code, the existing housing stock, and the comprehensive plan?
I was hoping we'd have a zoning question. I mean, I have countless nights of sleeplessness where I read the zoning code to help me go to sleep. And many of you out there cannot go to sleep in the evening time or in the morning time where you have to go to sleep. Pull out the zoning code, take a look at it, it will put you to sleep 30 seconds, couple of minutes. How do we, I guess the question, since I kind of forgot it, was how do we resolve zoning code issues and the discrepancies? First and foremost, we have to rewrite the zoning code. I don't want to say too much to get the village in trouble, except that our zoning code needs to be rewritten. It is outdated, it is very ambiguous and vague, and it is something that puts a burden on not only the village and the zoning board, but also every citizen in our village. If you don't believe me, or if you do believe me, show up April 10th, 7 o'clock, Village Council Chambers. We are having an issue concerning a very nice lady on Circle Avenue who could lose her coach house and her regular 2 flat because of certain zoning issues.
We definitely need to revise our zoning code. I'm sure Mike sees it on the ZBA and we'll see it on the Planning Commission. Our zoning code really has just 3 classifications for residential property: R1, R2, and R3. Our comprehensive only R1 being allowed, maybe more than single-family homes. Even our comprehensive plan has recommends 5 zoning codes, but still only 1 single-family residential zoning code. Much of our village south of Madison is zoned R1, and there are many, many nice purpose-built 2-flats in that area that don't meet the zoning code. And the building that Mike is referring to at 4617 Circle is one of those. It's a brick 2-flat. It's built purposely to be a 2-flat. It's not a converted single-family home. It's not a 2-flat. But it doesn't meet our codes, and it's putting a burden on the zoning Board of Appeals, the Village Council, and it places all the residents under a cloud of uncertainty when to have so many non-conforming properties. So yes, we definitely need to rewrite our zoning code. There are some things in our housing stock that we want to convert back, but we really need to work on our zoning code.
It's my understanding that the zoning code in Forest Park is an antiquated code that is deeply in need of revision. Near my house, there's new construction going on, and I visited the lady who lives right next door to the new construction. For 47 years, she's owned her home, and she's been able to look out and see the street from her home, from her kitchen window. That's changing now. That's a problem. While I respect the rights of property owners to make money off their investments and to improve neighborhoods, we have to look at the character of the neighborhoods and of the existing structures. So I believe that any new development should be consistent with the character of the neighborhood, and that the zoning code will need to be uniform, revised, along with the comprehensive plan.
It is definitely time to take a look at our codes, update them. But one of the problems we have going forward is the past. We have to live with the past when people were allowed to build houses half-set on the back pieces of their property. And there's people who own those today. Under those rights, they bought them. You have to be sensitive when you rezone to who's here and who owns it. It's hard to draw the line in the sand and say, okay, you're now worth half as much as you were yesterday because we changed the codes. And I think those are the biggest pitfalls or landmines. I'm not sure who said that. But that's really a good way to describe it. And as code enforcement becomes stronger in town, the zoning board is getting to see more cases because we are bringing those issues out. And as they become more repeated at the zoning board, I think those are the things we have to start looking at our zoning codes to adjust for the modern times. But at the same time, we have to be sensitive about the properties that are already here and who owns them, so as not to hurt people. You know, your house is most likely your largest investment. I know my residents are. And that's what you have to be sensitive about. You can't take away people's life savings with the line of the pen.
There's a lot of hype going on right now about our zoning codes, and that's only because we've had a number of zoning issues go before the zoning board and then ultimately before the village council. But I was sitting here just trying to reflect and think if there was even one property owner that adversely got hurt by any zoning issue. And I think at least in the last 8 years, I'd be, maybe there's one, maybe there's two. I mean, those codes are there for a reason. There are appeal processes for those that don't comply to the zoning codes. They exercise them, and that's a process of going before the zoning board of appeals and then ultimately before the village council. Our comprehensive plan recognizes that our zoning code needs some work, and I agree with that. It's going to require some time and some effort, and it should be done.